All right, good evening. It is Monday, November 20th, 2023 at precisealgorithmtrading.com. And let's dive in and look at how our automated trading systems did today. So the Dow futures automated looks like they went down today. And this is what the results look like. So today's 11. What the heck? 4 of 4. Huh. Looks like they didn't trade today. So that's interesting. That must be just the 17th. So they must not have traded at all today. All right. So this big run of negativity, that is last Friday. All right. That was unexpected. The Russell. Oh, I don't know what. I guess that looks like it went sideways to up a little bit, maybe one trade. Yeah, 1120. One little trade up. So nothing to write home about. The NASDAQ was the game changer today, and it's not out of the woods yet. We're just turning back up again. Had this big pullback lately, and that was those trades. So all in, that was a nice day. So this is the kind of like the epitome of a trading day. You got a couple of relatively rough losses, but in the middle of that, you got some great gains. That is what you need. That's what makes an equity curve go up. All these red losses get negated eventually, and you end up having an equity curve that does lower left to upper right, and that is all you're after. Regardless of these pullbacks, sort of regardless, I mean, I do care, but because they're hard to take when they're happening. But you have to be well funded and be able to take them. So I talked about it over the weekend or on the weekend review. I'm also looking at literally applying the math that goes into this trading system into the YM instead of. Now, this is a short term look at that chart, but on the YM, the Dow futures, and applying the math of the other system here. This is on a 1 minute chart, and the net results technically aren't better, but they do pull back less, but it's still actually similar. And you can see today, actually, I think it was a little bit of up. I'd have to actually, I did look at the trades, but it was pretty much sideways. Um, I'm still working on this one to get it a little bit more smooth to the upside and not so much of a dramatic pullback. It's like you have a pullback in this one every month almost. Or this, which is an actual, it's a great looking trading system. It's based on the 1500 ticks instead of 1 minute ticks. And um, the only problem is this is only since May. When you have the uh, when you're using tick charts instead of minute charts, you don't get near as much data. So there's a trade-off, and I don't have as much back data to be able to test against. However, this is a great looking equity curve that's going up, and it's got a really nice um, risk to reward ratio, and a lot of the math that goes into it is pretty great. So the win loss ratio is really good too. So somewhere between these two, literally using the math from this equity curve for the NQ, um, it looks like I'm going to be modifying the system somewhat. Although right now, this system is still winning overall, which I know it's a lot to try to explain here in a video, but that's where we're at. So, anyways, they all work, and that's the bottom line. It's just a matter of trying to work the best. So, That's a little glimpse into how we do this. And let's move on to the automated trading system, or the manual trading systems. And let's look at the SPX. It actually continues to go higher, and that's fine by me. We're back higher on the weekly, extended in my opinion on the daily, and it looks pretty extended on the hourly as well. The Dow also up, same story across the board. The Russell up against resistance, not the same story on the weekly chart. A pullback here would actually give us the potential to be able to find a base and then start breaking higher and do some of the same breaking that it's doing in the other markets. The NASDAQ also extended. These are hard to get into after they already take off, by the way. So I bought a half position way back here in the Qs, and I haven't let go yet, but I never found a great place to get in for the other half, and that's part of the what the markets do. They they either grind you or they do what that was. And I've learned over the years to get in at least a half a position or 2/3 of one and just ride it. And for the next time around, I got a better way. Sometime I'll share it, maybe with a smaller group. So, um, so that's the major markets. Let's look at oil. If it'll cooperate, it looks like oil went up by 2.19% on the USO contract, and the actual oil futures contract, if it cooperates, here we are. So we are coming back up. 1, 2, 3. I'm guessing we're going to have at least one more move back down before we can at least put in a higher low before we can possibly come out of this. And if that doesn't happen, we're just reverting to the mean before we take a bigger move lower. And if we flip this to the month, we potentially have a much bigger move to the downside. So we'll have to look at a few other things to make that kind of a definitive answer, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. These things unfold from the let's say the minute all the way up to the 60-minute, all the way up to the daily, all the way up to the weekly, and then to the monthly. So take what you will from that, but yeah, that's where we're at. So that's enough for the regular markets. Let's go to the bullish percent indexes and take a look. So the Dow didn't move today. The NYA up by 1.72%. The transports tacked on 3 new green X's today, up by 14.29%. You know what? Let's go back and look at the transports. IYT. Flip this back to the daily. Extended, but a lot like the Russell 2000. Looks like it could use a pullback. Back to here. The NASDAQ up 1.79%. The SPX up 0.99%. The OEX didn't move, and the NDX didn't move. So we'll be watching for tomorrow. Turnaround Tuesday is always interesting. We've had some relative bullishness coming up into all this, and it'll be interesting if we get some weakness going into Tuesday to possibly into the end of the week and then possibly take off from there. So that is where we're at right now. Until next time, good trading and have a great night.